Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with chapter of history from our history book Our Past 2. The name and the number of the chapter is chapter number 6, Town, Traders and Craft Person. So, what would a traveler visiting a medieval town expect to find? It depends on a kind of a town it is. For example, temple town, administrative center, commercial town, or a port town. Many towns were combined in several places. So, town traders and craft person. In this chapter, you will learn about the town traders and craft person. This is one of the chapter in which we will learn about three things. Now, what is administrative centers? Thanjavur, the capital of Cholas, as it was 1,000 years ago, perennial river Kaveri flows near it. Architect Kunjramalan Rajaraja Paruntachan, his name carved on the temple wall inside is a massive Shiva ling. Beside the temple are places with mandapas or pavilion kings hold court in the mandapas issues order to issues subordinates. So what were the things supplied? In that market, selling grain, spices, cloth and jewelry, water supplies come from wells and tanks near by town of Urayur produce cloth. The towns which were near the Urayur, that towns produces cloth for flags. The cloth manufactured there was only for the flag to be pursued in the temple festival. Whenever there is a festival in the temple, they used to persuade the temple to take the cloth of the flags with fine cotton for the king and nobility and coarse cotton for the masses. The people in the mass were requested to wear the coarse cotton and for the king it was designed with the fine cotton. Some distance away that Swami Malai, the sthapatis or the sculptors make exquisite bronze. In that area bronze was also famous. Bronze ideals. The ideals were of the worshippers who were there in the temple were made of the bronze, ornamental bell metals, etc. Temple towns and pilgrimage centers. Thanjavur explained of a temple town represent a very important pattern of urbanization. An important pattern of urbanization is explained. The process by which cities develop temples central to the economy and society build temples to demonstrate their devotion. These things were designed only to demonstrate their devotion. The people living there want to demonstrate their devotion to various deities. That means the gods which were present in the temple. Temples with grant of land and money to carry out elaborate rituals, field pilgrims and priests and celebrate festivals. Pilgrims who flocked to the temples also made donations. They used to give the donations. Temple authorities used their wealth to finance trade and banking. The donation which were collected by the people, what happened? The temple people used the authority for the trade and banking. Temples, priests, workers, artisans, trades, etc. settled near the temple. They all settled near the temple. Why? To cater their needs and to those of the pilgrims. Temple towns emerged around temples such as those Bilsa or Vadisha in Madhya Pradesh, Somnath in Gujarat. Somnath is a very famous temple and you all know that it is located in Gujarat. And one more other important temple town is Kanchipuram and Madurai in Tamil Nadu, Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh. Pilgrim centers developed into townships. The pilgrim centers were there. After that, what they were developed into the townships. That is Vrindavan, Uttar Pradesh. It is a home of Kanaji, Krishnaji, as you all know, and Tiruvannamalai, Tamil Nadu are examples. Ajmer, Rajasthan, capitals of the Chauhan kings in 12th century, later become the Suba headquarters under the Mughals, provides an excellent example of religious coexistence. Chishti, the celebrated Sufi saint. Chishti is one of the Sufi saints in 12th century, attract devotees from all creeds. Now the turn of network of small towns. From 8th century onwards, subcontinent was dotted with several small towns that probably emerged from large villages had a mandapika to which mandapika is or mandi of later times to which nearby villages brought their produce to sell. They bring all their products which they produce to sell and had market streets called hatta, hat of later times. Lined with shops there were streets of different kinds of artisans such as potters, oil pressers, sugar maker, toddy maker. These all are the things which they used to sell there. They came from far places near to these towns to buy local articles and sell products of distant places like horses. The people come to sell the horses, sell salt, camphor, saffron, betel nut, and spices like pepper, samantha, or in later times. A jamindar built a fortified place in near towns, levied tax on traders. The fortified the jamindars, the people over there, used to build the towns, and they take the taxes from the traders, artisans, and articles of trade. Sometimes donated the right to collect these taxes to local temples. And they have given the right also to collect the taxes from the local temples which had been built by themselves or by rich merchants, because the temples which were built there was by the rich merchants, were recorded in the inscription that they have survived on this day. It means that the people who came there for purchasing the things were getting the right to take to collect the taxes from the local temples. Why? Because that local temples were built by the rich merchants. So this is all about the topic, a network of small towns. A small town was interconnected with each and everyone. Now, the next topic. Sampi, located in the Krishna Aurangabad basin, capital of Vijayanagar. It is the capital of Vijayanagar Empire, founded in 1336. Its magnificent ruins reveal a well-fortified city. It was a well-fortified city. Architecture was distinctive. Buildings in the royal complex had splendid arches, domes, and pillared halls with niches for holding sculptures. Bustled with commercial and cultural activities, Moors, Chattis, and the agents of European traders such as the Portuguese thronged the markets of Sampi. Because Hampi is situated in the Aurangabad basins formed by the nucleus of Vijayanagar Empire. Hampi was, as I have already told you, Hampi was distinctive building. Network of small towns. Now the topic comes, the network of small towns. From 18th century onwards, subcontinent was dotted with several small towns that had probably emerged from large villages and had a mandapika nearby to brought their products to sale. As I have already told you that they have a market street called Hatta, which was previously called Hart, in which oil pressers, sugar makers, everyone was there to sell their products. Alauddin administrative measures were successfully and praised. So the Jamindar laid the taxes from the people selling the products there, and they used to collect the donation from and taxes from the temples, because that temples were built by the rich merchants, were recorded in the inscription that have survived to this day. Other Jamindars built a fortified place in near those towns. Jamindars built a fortified place in near those towns. Alauddin administrative measures were successful and praised. He successfully withstood on the threat of Mongol invasion. So this is all about the network of small towns, how the network of small towns interconnect with each other. So the next topic is Surat. Now the turns come of the Surat. A closer look to Surat. Surat in Gujarat, the emporium of western trade during the Mughal period. Surat in Gujarat, it is a emporium of western trade during the Mughal period, along with Cambay, and somewhat later Ahmedabad, Surat, the gateway for trade. It is a gateway for trade with West Asia via the Gulf of Hormuz. also called the gate of Mecca because many pilgrim ships set sail from here. Yes, all the pilgrim ships they set sail from here. Cosmopolitan and people of all caste and creed live there. One of the speciality of Surat is that people of all caste and creed live there, and it is a very beautiful place to see. In 17th century, the Portuguese, Dutch, and the English had their factories and warehouse at Surat. According to the English chronicler, Ovington wrote an account of the port in 1689. On average of 100 ships of different countries could be found. 100 ships. This point is very clear that in Surat 100 of ships is there to could be found on this port. Several retail and wholesale shops selling cotton textile. One of the modern business of the Surat is that they sell cotton textile. Wholesale business is there. The textile of Surat was famous for the gold lace border. The textile of Surat is also famous for their gold lace border and had a market in West Asia and Africa and Europe. Built numerous rest houses to take care of the needs of people from all over the world to came to the city, magnificent buildings and innumerable pleasure parks. Thank you.